What's up, guys? Your boy Gabe the Champ. We are back. One Piece chapters 1077 is out. Let's jump right into it. So last chapter review, I was pretty right on a lot of the things that were going to happen this week. Kind of seeing a pattern in regards to the way the chapters are going to go. Oda likes to save the big reveals, for the break week. So this week, like I mentioned, we were going to be getting those check-ins and seeing what's happening in Egghead. And I thought we might have gotten a little bit more info about who the traitor could be. But I feel like this chapter actually made it a little bit more harder to tell.
If nothing else, I can at least learn the Flash's secret identity. I have no idea who this is.
I had a pretty good theory, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more towards the end of the video. I definitely wanted to just point a few things out in the chapter that I noticed. In case there was a few things, definitely let me know in the comments below if there's something that I missed. So cover story continues, and I think I mentioned a few cover stories ago. They realize they've been fighting for whatever amount of time, 20, 30 years that it's been since they dissolved the Mads. It's all because Vegapunk just became so famous and outshined them that their scientific deeds were just not really that notable anymore. This is dope. I definitely would love to see how the rest of this cover story is going to play out, if it's going to lead to some type of reunion of Mads. I doubt that, especially the way Oda's been cutting certain things out of the story, but maybe we'll get more in the cover story, maybe in the SBS a little bit later on. But anyway, jumping back into the chapter. So like I said last week, or last chapter I should say, I pretty much guessed that we're just going to kind of check in a little bit more on all the rest of the Straw Hats. We got some funny moments, like Zoro realizing that he's fighting basically replicas of King, and realizing that how he was able to beat King was figuring out the ability of Lunarians, and how with the fire being on and the fire being off, figuring out when is the right time to attack.
There's a force field? Why didn't you tell me? Well, because I wanted us to fail. Obviously, I didn't know!
So, we got some comic relief there, but it's still crazy to see Luffy and Zoro teaming up with Kaku and Lucci. This was super unexpected, but it's what we never thought we needed, right? So, yeah, finally get to check back in with Sentomaru too after a few chapters. He's giving us a little Ohara backstory that we kind of already know, but letting everyone else know that this is potentially what's going to happen next, because the government is sending a bunch of battleships over so they could blow Egghead up. More check-ins with the Straw Hats. Get to see Frankie actually fall for some of the abilities. Frankie, Usopp, and Lilith all get turned into stone. At some point, Vegapunk is going to give Esboa the command to turn them back into normal. But this basically just lets us know Egghead, like I was saying, I think a few chapters ago, or last chapter review, that this arc is not going to be as short as we thought. We're going to spend a little bit of time here before we head over to Elbaf, or find out what's going on in the other parts of the world. So we got these guys turning into stone. We get to see Nami try to flex her abilities a little bit on S-Shark. For a second, we actually thought Nami got that W, but, these Lunarian Seraphims do not go down easy. If that was the regular Jinbei, might have been down for the count, or might have been down for a little while before he got back up again. So Sanji steps in for the challenge, because Sanji don't play that whenever he sees Jinbei. So he's taking full advantage of this Seraphim, because he's not gonna fight the real Jinbei because he's a crew member. But he's like, oh, I'm gonna take this one out. And we had a moment where Sanji's eyebrows gets reversed again. So if you guys remember back in Wano, when he was first undergoing his change, his eyebrows got flipped when his mutation took place. So I'm not sure what this exactly means in regards to the future for Sanji, if it's going to be something that might end up staying in that flipped state at some point. But obviously it's affecting his personality a lot more than he would like. But if he's getting stronger, I'm cool with it. Definitely needs to chill on the simping, because he's, that's what always gets him into these kind of situations. So, that's always going to be Sanji's thing. He's got to protect the ladies. Yeah, so that's pretty much the check-in with the Straw Hats. So kind of would have guessed that was what we were going to be getting. And I also mentioned that I was hoping that we would get some more details, a bit more of a teaser of who this potential traitor is. It definitely didn't get much help, because now at the end of the chapter, my man Shaka gets popped by someone with a pistol. I was not expecting any of that. I would have thought maybe another Seraphim attacking him, which potentially may be. We may still have more Seraphim that we haven't been introduced to. I literally just thought about that. That was not in my thought process before I was planning on making this video. So we may actually have another Seraphim that we just haven't actually seen in battle yet. And that could be the Seraphim that just shot Shaka. Last chapter, I also was talking about Shaka as a potential threat, and he just got removed as he just got removed off of that list. And so basically, I'm kind of leaning towards that. I don't think it's any of the 6 satellites that we actually know of right now. You know, going back and forth about it, we know at the end of the day, all of the satellites usually upload all of the data that they actually process throughout the day. So everything they've done throughout the day gets uploaded to the cloud in Punk Records. So Punk Records has all of the information that gets synced, and this is how the Stella keeps track of everything that all of the satellites are doing. And this is also how all the rest of the satellites are able to work together more efficiently, because they kind of know everything that the other satellites have been going throughout the day previously. This led to a new theory. It's kind of a Terminator theory. But this whole arc has obviously the Future Island theme to it, and it actually takes a little bit from different movies. The lightsabers from Star Wars, you know, looking at Shaka's helmet, another example. That's something that's from the movie Tron. Something that's also prevalent in movies like Tron, Terminator, and a lot of other movies that have AI is the fear that AI will eventually take over. So I think we're actually seeing that here. And the actual threat may be Punk Records. So he stored his brain into that mainframe, and that's once again why I mentioned earlier where all of the other Vegapunks upload their data to. So that's where it's basically a central hub for all of the information. So now this Vegapunk potentially could be the one that is the traitor. Or not necessarily maybe the traitor, but the one that is trying to actually preserve the Stella body. Stella body wants to leave the island as well as try to escape from the government. So the brain, being smart as it is, thinks maybe it's smarter than Vegapunk as well as all the satellites put together, because it has all that information and is trying to come up with the best scenario. So the best idea that it has come with was to just start capturing all the Cypher Pole agents that come to Egghead, so this way the government is not aware of everything that's been going on with Vegapunk. And then any other threats potentially that now come in, the Vegapunk brain is using the Seraphim to eliminate them. So now we've got this death game happening right here on Egghead, and we had something similar to that in the movie Tron. So it would make a lot of sense if it was really this giant brain that was able to do that, because it was able to remove the dome, so that this way it can lure the CP agents to come where everyone else was, so that this way they can wipe everybody out with all the Seraphim. So it was seems to be a pretty well detailed plan, and it could be the Seraphim that I think that could have just attacked Shaka, the Doflamingo. Either Doflamingo or Crocodile, because those are the only two that I could think of that potentially would use a pistol. More so leaning towards Doflamingo, but that would be pretty interesting if we get a Doflamingo Seraphim that just pulled up and just shot him. I was also going to mention Caribou as a potential as well, but we know that Caribou is not that calculated unless somehow the brain of Vegapunk somehow figured a way to manipulate Caribou to also take part in this game. And we know Caribou has no problem pulling out a pistol and just shooting everyone else because he needs to protect himself, being that he's on this island, and maybe the brain could have told them, do this for us and we'll help you escape the island. But I wanted to just mention that just really quickly, just as a possibility. Definitely don't think it's Caribou. I'm leaning very heavily towards that this is a Terminator situation. Skynet has took over. So however you guys want to look at it, potentially Skynet or something along those lines, but I do see it as I do see that as the only thing that kind of makes sense right now. I don't think it's any of the other Vegapunks, because like I said, they all have to upload data, everything they process throughout the day, to Punk Records. So another Vegapunk would have caught on by now, or Dr. Vegapunk would have figured out that one of his satellites was abducting Cypher Pole agents. So chapter 1078, I think we're actually going to find out who is the one that pulled the trigger of that gun. most likely. Like I said, we're going to probably continue to stay on Egghead and see everything that's going on. The fights are going to continue to play out. We'll find out what's happening more with Sanji. You know, the fights will continue with Luffy, Zoro, Lucci, and Kaku against S-Bear and S-Hawk. Oh yeah, something else that I'm pretty sure we may find out next week is what's happening with Bonnie. You know, it's just she continued to explore more of Kuma's memories. I think we may get a full Kuma backstory. We probably may also go back and forth with Mary Joie. We may see what is happening with Kuma. What else? Possibly also even with the Revolutionary Army, because they have to find out what happened with Kuma. I'm pretty sure they've, you know, probably started to track him by now. So, you know, if they would have left Kamabaka Kingdom to start heading towards Kuma, that may be something we may find out too. Yeah, we'll probably get a little bit more of the Seraphim fights. Like I said, Sanji, check in with him with his mutation, see what's happening. We may also see what's happening with these guys that are turning into stone. Boa may continue to go on this rampage. But yeah, I think we're going to be on Egghead for another at least 10 or 15 chapters minimum before we actually wrap things up and head out with Vegapunk. You know, I see like in the next few chapters, we're also going to be getting the government finally arriving at Egghead. And I don't think the Straw Hats are going to try and face them right now. I think we're going to probably try to escape so that this way we can secure the bag. When I say secure the bag, I'm talking about the Stella. But yeah, I don't think the satellites are going to come with us. So this is the reason why, you know, they're being systematically taken out. We're going to probably find out that they can be, you know, rebuilt or something along those lines, because all of their memories are still synced into the cloud. But I don't think that they're going to be traveling with the Straw Hats. Yeah, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. If there's anything I might have missed in the chapter, any theories you guys have about who the traitor really is. Let me know if you guys think S. Doflamingo or S. Croc is about to pull up on us. I would love to see some more Seraphim. These guys are definitely pretty dope. But once again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's your boy Gabe T Champ. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.